I was desperate for two things: a supportive community of friends to curb my loneliness, and support with keeping my husband healthy. I was a prime target. Hello, how are you? And welcome back to my channel. My name is G, and here on my channel, I like to talk about the shady, predatory, and manipulative tactics of MLMs. If you are new to my channel and you're wondering, well, who the heck is this lady and why is she making anti-MLM videos on YouTube? Then I have a video for you to check out. I'll link it up here and I'll put it in the description box. And in that video, I describe my MLM experience and what led me to being anti-MLM, marking my descent into this nefarious boss babe world. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go over that story today because we are going to be reading two other MLM horror stories. I thought it would be fun to have a theme, kind of spice things up a little bit. So today's video has a theme, and the theme is essential oils MLMs. Good old essential oils. Is it just me, or do essential oils actually get a bad rep because they're associated with MLMs? Truth be told, essential oils have been around for centuries, and they've been used by various cultures all over the world, and they actually do serve some medicinal purposes. Essential oils are cool, in my opinion. What is not cool, though, is when you purchase them for an insane amount of money from an MLM rep, or when you're recruited into a company that sells essential oils following the direct selling, social selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing model. And I cannot forget to mention that it is also not cool to claim that essential oils will cure and treat serious diseases such as Alzheimer's. Today's horror stories will be coming from the anti-MLM subreddit, and I think I'm going to try something new and kind of experiment a little bit here. Instead of taking pauses throughout the stories to give commentary, I think what I'll do instead is just read each story in its entirety and then give my commentary afterwards. I'm thinking it might be better to just hear the entire story one time and then have time to process everything that happened instead of pausing too much throughout so that we kind of lose sense of what's happening. So we're gonna try that out today, okay? What do you guys think about that? And let me know below in the comments what your preferences are when it comes to stuff like that. I definitely appreciate your feedback on that. One more thing. There is a lot of how shall we say, colorful vocabulary used in these stories. And rather than say those words and then go and edit them out and put a quacking sound over it, which is what I normally do, I'm just going to be replacing those words with more family-friendly versions of those words. And the reason that I bleep those words out is because I want to be respectful to you all, just in case you're listening to this video without headphones on and there's kids around. And also, if my students ever see these videos, I just don't want them to see me cursing. So I really try to not curse here. During live streams, maybe a different story. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, I would appreciate it if you could show some love by hitting the thumbs up button. And if you wouldn't mind hearing some more of my ramblings and getting my take on things, it would also be super great if you would subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Last thing, I swear, and then we're gonna get to the stories. But if you have an MLM horror story or experience that you would like to share with me, or if you have a picture or a video that you would like me to react to here on my channel, I would love to hear from you, and you can reach me by my email address, which is listed below, thegraciousexpectations@gmail.com. I'm really sorry about all of this talking, but if you ever do decide to return to my channel after this, just remember you can always click on the chapters and completely bypass the intro if you just want to get straight into the stories. With all of that said, let's get into it. I have a messed up MLM story involving doTerra, my mom, and all sorts of awful oil use. Would it be okay to post it here? I wrote the story out for the subreddit Just Know MIL, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like I've found kindred spirits here. I just wanted to ask to be sure if it was okay first. Update, it's okay, yay! I'm just going to update this post if that's okay. My mom will be referred to as what she's referred to on JNMIL, Celise Baratheon. A lot of this is going to be from that first post I made, but deleting non-MLM info. The full story about my mom can be found over on that subreddit. The first part of the story is about the predatory ass tactics they used to get me on their downline. I don't have anything to do with the company except for the fact that my name is on an account. I could actually use some advice on how to get them to cancel my account actually. I came home about 6 months ago to find my mom sitting with her older brother, my butthead, racist, sociopath uncle. I don't like when he comes around, but I do enjoy how easy it is to wind him up about politics. We're Puerto Rican and he's a Trump supporter, so political debates with him is kind of like trolling that The Donald sub, but from the comfort of your own home. He was also an Herbalife guy when that was a thing, and the whole family was crazy about it. Yes, Herbalife really does go after Latinos more. As for my mother herself, Celise has hosted the occasional Mary Kay party and more than one jewelry party, but I don't remember the name of that company. She also buys Avon, but from the catalog. She's never sold or gone this far in though. Personally, I like Avon makeup brushes, but won't go seeking them out. They're just there, and I appreciate $3 makeup brushes when I can get them. He's talking about a specific brand of essential oils called doTerra, and I sit down to listen because, ooh, essential oils. I like them and think they smell good, and had a bottle of tea tree oil for pesky adult breakouts hanging around. Celise is taking notes and telling butthead uncle all about how the essential oil diffuser she got my abuela is helping her sleep and breathe better, and she wants to know more. I'm pretty interested at this point, and I mentioned that I have essential oils too. He demands I bring them down, and I do. He then freaks out because I'm not using the right essential oils and I'm just putting crap on my face. It's from the Body Shop and works pretty well. Celise tells me not to worry about it and gets butthead uncle back on track. He then starts to explain the pay scale thing, which made me realize, oh poop. This is an MLM. Now, I've never actually been taken in by an MLM, but I did come pretty close. I answered a group interview right out of college for what I thought was a receptionist position at an insurance company, but actually turned out to be an MLM life insurance company. I made friends with one of the more successful people there, and he took me on as a PA when it became clear to everyone that I was going to cut and run after getting my insurance sales license, which seemed like a cool thing to do since they already gotten me. Every meeting in the office was this weird, almost cult-like affair with noisemakers and empty platitudes. Celise hated that I was working there because clearly it was a messed up place and they were paying on commission. It wasn't a good situation in any capacity, but I walked away with nearly a year in office experience and a severe distrust of multi-level marketing companies. All in all, not the worst experience, but I shouldn't have done it. So as soon as I hear the word upline, I start Googling on my phone and I find out that doTerra had run-ins with the FDA for the weird things they said the oils do. They're all blogs that I've looked up, but they're reasonably well trafficked and I had only Googled for a few minutes. I very quietly send the links I found to Celise when Butthead Uncle is in another room. Celise and Butthead Uncle finish their conversation and he leaves. Celise then tells me that clearly my research is wrong because she's read everything doTerra had to say and the FDA is wrong about the claims they're making, and this is no ordinary MLM, and why can't I think for myself instead of believing everything the FDA tells me? Celise then tells me that the FDA wants to keep holistic cures away from people so we can take their approved poison. I'm sure there's some truth to this because the FDA sucks sometimes, but Lord knows without them we'd still be drinking cocaine cola. So at this point, I'm like, okay, and a bit freaked out and elect to stay far away from this poop. At this juncture, Celise has assured me that she isn't selling the stuff. She's only joining my uncle's downline to get the wholesale price, since people can do that at doTerra. Evidently, not everyone sells. This put me more at ease because it doesn't seem as aggressive or cult-like. She hasn't spammed social media or anything, not even now. A moment of silence for butthead dummy me from 6 months ago. So the products start rolling in and everything is fine. She even lets me use the oils and products that are coming in. The shampoo and conditioner is actually pretty great, coming from a girl with super thick hair and 3B curls. For weeks, Celise is trying to get me to join her downline so she can buy products under my name and get a commission check for it. Almost every conversation we had turned to this. She'd gotten a check for the products she'd bought herself, and she wanted more. I was like, thanks, but no thanks. But she kept pushing. She also made it a point to make sure I was drinking slim and sassy, which tastes okay, but just call me fat to my face. One day when I was working, butthead uncle comes by and starts giving me this pitch, but he's way more aggressive than Celise. From what I can remember, his points were, he has aggressive prostate cancer and his doctor begged him to go on chemo, but he said no. All he did was change his diet and put himself on the oils. Now, every time he goes to the doctor, the cancer shrinks. Celise herself has called this dude a lying sociopath, but believes him on this. I've asked if she's seen proof, and she swears he's telling the truth. He's been drinking a few drops of lemon oil with all his water every day and has been losing 1 pound a day and has never felt better in his life. He's not even working out. He's just shedding the pounds like nothing. He then ends it with, I hate to be this guy and I don't want you to be upset, but you used to be thin. Guys, I have never emotionally checked out of a conversation faster in my life. Part of me still wants to scratch his eyes out. He left soon after, and I told Celise later that butthead uncle is driving me away from any possible signing up I could ever do. She then brings up the products that I like and that I'd be in her downline, not his. So what he says doesn't matter. At this point, she's starting to come around to selling. Not products though, memberships. So a couple of more weeks go by, and I'm getting ready to go to my day job. I'm a freelance writer and living at home in one of the most expensive cities in the world, which is why I haven't gone LC yet. As I'm getting ready, Celise keeps talking about the products and mentions that my hair looks awesome because of the conditioner I got. It did. I actually genuinely like their shampoo and conditioner. I tell her that I'd be down to buy product, but I am not getting a membership. She then asked me for my rent money for the month, and when I handed her the cash, she went, great, now I can put this towards your starter kit. When I was like, yo, that's rent money, she was basically like, I can use it for whatever I want because you gave it to me. When I still said nothing, she was just like, but you still don't want to? Why? Like she was angry with me. At this point, I'm running late and I realize this will never go away, so I'm like, fine. You win, but I am not touching this account thing. I'm only doing this to help you. She was like, fine. So I went to work feeling annoyed, but like I wouldn't have to get involved further than that because I was so against it. One night, Celise comes home from work, going on and on about how DoTerra is going to do awesome stuff for her, and after she gets laid off, she'll have a couple of years to get her business off the ground. She then asked me to tell my boyfriend and my friends to come to her oil classes, which she was hosting at least once a month at this point. I immediately say no, flat out. She looks almost scandalized at my answer, asking why, like she doesn't know. I say something like, no, your company is predatory and the only reason I am even involved is because you strong-armed me into this. I then tell her to cancel my doTerra account because I no longer wanted to be involved. She gets angry and starts yelling about how if I don't want the membership, then I don't get any more free products. And I'm just like, great, I like the hair stuff, but I don't need it. She then walks out of the house, halfway storming out, and I'm like, okay, that's the end of it. Celise then comes home and starts breezily talking after a few minutes. I just wanted to let you know that I did some research on what you said about doTerra. What was the word you used? Predatory? Well, it's not, because no other MLM works this way, and they're not making you sell. They just believe in their products. I'm like, at this point, because I am just done talking. She also never canceled my account. One day, a few weeks later, Celise mentions that she wants to watch this Netflix documentary called What the Health. I said I wanted to see it too, since it was getting memed everywhere I looked at the time, and she said, okay, get home at this time and we'll watch it then. So I do. It's me, Celise, and stepdad, who's an okay dude. He's just super quiet and we'll just go with the flow, watching this vegan propaganda video. And while the documentary is going, I'm quietly looking up some of the claims because most of them sounded wrong. Celeste keeps commenting over and over that I'm not even watching and why did I bother even acting like I wanted to see it. At the end of the movie, she actually quizzes me on facts of the movie to make sure I was watching it. I got all the questions right, then told her that I was looking up claims since most of them sounded wrong, and that the whole thing is designed to breed fanatics of people who will take this movie as fact. I walk both Celeste and stepdad through a few misrepresented statistics and end up talking more to stepdad about the movie and how it's wrong. She then starts talking about the essential oils and how they'll help her get healthier and make more money. She must have seen my face because she asked, yet again, what my problem was with the company. I immediately tried to beg off, saying to her face that she has never listened to anything I had to say about this, so I'm done talking about it. She pushes me to talk to her and she'll totally listen, so, not believing her, I humor her and say why I'm against the company again while telling her the products are fine. Since she never took me off of the program, I abuse the hair poop now. She suddenly starts talking about how everyone is ashamed to make money. Now I fight my inner urge to debate. I like debating. I learn and have my mind opened and get to use it building an argument. But this time I decided I wasn't going to say anything and I'd see how she'd fill the silence. Guys, the stuff she said honestly floored me. I used to be ashamed of making money too, until I realized that there's no reason I shouldn't make money off of someone buying a product because major companies make money that way. Everyone thinks that MLMs are predatory, but I've never been taken advantage of by DoTerra, so that's not true. It's not the average MLM. To stepdad, no one wants to say they like MLMs because they don't want to be judged by people like my daughter. To stepdad again, MLMs let regular people do what big businesses do every day, but people like my daughter would rather give their money to big corporations than their family and friends. They don't want to support people they love, but they want to support corporations who are making money off of them. This went on for over 15 minutes. I know she said more eye and hair raising poop, but after a while she just started repeating herself. I think my eyes were bugged out at the end. Stepdad was there too, and he said nothing. When they finally left the living room, I just let out the longest breath like, hot damn! Then I watched Game of Thrones season premiere and did my best to get the heebie-jeebies out of my system. This brings me to the next major event. My cousin's arrival in late August and her own essential oil bull poop, plus the way my mom has used these oils, including on her own kids and infants. I've written about that as well, but this post is dumb long now, so I'm going to write that out later and possibly on another post. Wow. So the reason that I wanted to share that story with you all is because it really shows how MLMs tear families apart. In this story, we had a family infiltrated by MLMs. First, this butthead uncle who recruited his own sister, his own daughter, and then is trying to recruit his niece now. And that's just the family members that we know about who have been mentioned in this story. These family dynamics make it really hard for some people to say no, because if everyone else in your family is doing it, there's going to be that pressure of, well, why don't you just do it too, as we saw in this story. But it's just also really sad when you think about it, and when you ground yourself in the fact, in the statistical knowledge that the majority of people will not make money in MLMs. So essentially what you're doing is you are messing with the lives of the people who are closest to you, who you would think you would be trying to support or protect. Another part of the story that I wanted to talk about is when butthead uncle said, I don't want to upset you, but you used to be thin. That's so freaking horrible to comment on somebody's weight. There are only a few situations where it would be appropriate, I think, to do that. One is you're someone's doctor and you're telling them that maybe they are overweight and that's going to be causing some serious health concerns. I could also see a family member bringing it up. Let's say if somebody gains a whole lot of weight or loses a whole lot of weight and there's a big fluctuation and maybe somebody out of concern comes and approaches you and, asks if everything is okay and I've noticed this. I can see where it could be appropriate is what I'm saying, to come from a place of concern, asking about somebody's weight, but even then, I still think it's just better if it comes straight from a physician or a doctor. The really crappy thing is, in this case, this butthead uncle was not coming from a place of genuine concern for his niece. He was just trying to sell his MLM product. That's just disgusting. I can just tell you guys from my personal experience, when I have had family members comment on my weight, it feels so freaking bad. I'll give you guys an example. I've mentioned before on my channel that I live far away from my family, so I see them for major holidays, summers, winter breaks, and stuff like that, but I don't see them on a regular basis. And a few years ago, it was Thanksgiving, and we go gather at my mom's house and we're about to have Thanksgiving dinner. A dinner where you're supposed to feast and engorge and just like enjoy all of the delicious food that's in front of you. And then a family member tells me, "Wow, you've gained a lot of weight. Are you pregnant?" Let me just tell you that that comment derailed my night, and it really put me in a bad headspace. Made me feel bad about myself because no, I wasn't pregnant. I had just gained weight. Honestly, after becoming a teacher is when I have noticed that I have gotten heavier than what I used to be. But that comment was really hurtful to me because, first of all, why should it even matter? What does my body have to do with you? But then also, secondly, the part about, are you pregnant? I remember thinking, I wish I could be pregnant, but unfortunately I wasn't. The reason that I share that story with you all is because even with the purest of intentions, commenting on somebody's weight is going to make them feel bad, and that there's nothing that you benefit from by asking that question either. So just don't do it, but especially don't do it when you're just trying to freaking sell your MLM products. Like, are you serious? There was a lot of other crazy things in that story, but just in the interest of time, I want to go and start reading the next story. But please let me know your thoughts and your comments below. And now let's move on to the final story. A reformed young living boss babe. Excuse me while I barf up breakfast. The following is long. It was a long time coming, but it's my story with Young Living and the MLM world. I had to share it somewhere. This seemed like an appropriate venue. Here's to one more reformed boss babe in the anti-MLM world. Please ignore any grammar or spelling errors. I was typing quickly to get it out of my head. I'm not even sure how to start this, honestly. I keep thinking that it would actually be better for my mental health to just not do it at all. But there's this little part of me that is nagging to get the words out in the small chance that it helps me heal, even if it's the tiniest bit. At what point do we look at a situation and stop seeing it for all of the negativity it brought into your life and as an opportunity for growth or a lesson learned? Because I have two thoughts I want to say next. One, joining Young Living and attempting to build a business with a network marketing / multi-level marketing / pyramid scheme company destroyed my life and my mental health. Two, I learned a lot of lessons about who I am, what motivates people, and real relationships by being duped into a cult of #bossbabes selling essential oils. I suppose neither of those statements is positive, so maybe there is a central theme after all. I was suckered into believing that I had found a new group of friends, that I was going to gain financial freedom, that I was truly building a business that would take me places, all because I spent $160 on essential oils and had the drive to succeed. Hook, line, and sinker. Honestly, looking back, even just to write the words makes me nauseous. Not just for the things that other people did, but mostly for my lack of confidence in myself to say no. My lack of confidence to look objectively at the things that were happening and to make my own decisions. My ignorance at the facts that were sitting right in front of my face. My rejection of all the red flags that popped up, quickly ignored because why would my newfound family lie to me? We are truly changing the world. Then comes the guilt. Oh, the guilt. I knew it was shady. I knew it was a scam. I knew I was never going to quit my full-time job. I knew I was never going to be BFFs with these women. I knew I was nothing but a monthly order to them. But I was desperate for a supportive community. And when I did something good, the praise and prizes came pouring in. Bring on all of the emojis, GIFs, and raffle giveaways that I won, girlfriend. So I spread the word a lot. I held classes because I was good at them. Posted on social media. I had conversations with my friends and family. I took my oils with me everywhere I went. I used all of the hashtags in the world. Hashtag, there's an oil for that. And you know what? Some people came with me. Maybe because they were honestly interested, maybe because they wanted to support me, or maybe because they just wanted me to shut the F up. Each of those people from my real life were plopped right into the middle of MLM heaven hell in the form of at least 4 Facebook groups. 4 nonstop annoying, obnoxious, ridiculous Facebook groups. The funny thing about these groups, they are the exact place where you learn how to dupe your friends and family into purchasing a starter kit. So within the first hour of them making a purchase, it's glaringly obvious that you sold them some swampland in Arizona. You are a schmuck. But don't worry, you're eligible to win this $6 bottle at the end of the month just for purchasing your kit. Can we feel the energy that's taking over as I write, folks? A multi-level marketing company is a scam. It is not built for you to make money. You know how you make money? By having thousands of dumb newbies in your downline spending their hard-earned money on things they don't need, all in the name of business building. Because, you've got to spend some money to make some money. Barf. I spent approximately 8 months really drinking the Kool-Aid and passing it out to anyone that would look my way. You know what changed my mind? Math. Basic accounting, to be specific. I tallied up all of the money that I didn't have that I had spent in the previous months and all of the money I had brought in as my commission. I cried. Enter the guilt. I had convinced myself that spending $300 at minimum every month was a good idea for my family. There were weeks when I couldn't afford food or gas, but you can bet I found $300 to spend on essential oils and other products that I had no use for. I had spent hours, days, weeks working on classes, social media posts, emails, blog posts, and posting in Facebook groups to build my business when I could have been spending time with my husband or, actually working at my job where I was getting paid. The ditch and switch. Effing ditch and switch. It was a huge tactic with my upline to ditch products you were already buying and replace them with Young Living's version. It was more expensive, obviously, but it was worth it for the sake of my family. But this is natural. This will help my family. This will keep us healthy. All of the other products are killing us. I had convinced myself that not only was spending the money a good idea, that it was imperative for our health. A little backstory / side note, I purchased my premium starter kit with Young Living after my husband's bone marrow transplant. Essentially, he had the immune system of a newborn baby, and I was overly concerned about the bacteria, toxins, and anything in our home. I wanted to do what was best for his recovery. I was also in the middle of some pretty intense anxiety and depression. I was seeing a therapist, having daily anxiety attacks, and really struggling with life. I needed something to cling to focus on, and to give me hope. I wanted a miracle cure for everything. I was convinced yet again that Young Living essential oils and eliminating toxins was going to do that for my family. And I wasn't quiet about that part of my story. Coincidence or not, fate or not, malicious intent or not, Young Living came into my life when I was in my most vulnerable state ever. I'm not going to theorize on that anymore because if I spend too much time thinking about how I might have been targeted because of the trauma that I had been through, my heart will break. I was desperate for 2 things: a supportive community of friends to curb my loneliness and support with keeping my husband healthy. I was a prime target. I'm sorry, you guys. This story is just really breaking my heart. It's also extremely well written, so I'm really getting that emotional punch from it. Sitting at my desk, I looked at the number on the screen and then around my office at all of the oils lining my walls. What was I doing? How did this happen? Oh my God, I have been selling lies. This was the beginning of the end. When I told my friend who had enrolled me about doing the math and seeing the real numbers on my business, her response was, "Why would you do that?" Huh? This is supposed to be a business, right? Why wouldn't you look at the numbers? It was in that moment that I knew this was all a lie. If I hadn't been stuck in the car with her, I would have cried, but I didn't. She kept saying that it was just a slum. All I needed was one more business builder underneath me, and I would break through this next rank. It would happen if I just kept working hard. It was like all of my motivation had been sucked straight out of me. But I played nice and went through the motions for the next month or so. And then I witnessed what pushing for rank looks like. If you want to see just how disgusting and disingenuous multi-level marketing is, watch a high-ranking distributor push for the next rank. I was quite literally embarrassed to be a part of that community. I felt ashamed that I had jeopardized my reputation with people in my real life, my professional life, to make other people rich. Because let's face it, that's all I was doing. During this push, I was offered bribes to spend over $500 to sell kits to post on my social media feed to rank up myself and to get my people to spend their money. I was offered everything from a bottle of oil to a $300 diffuser. There was even talk of $1,000 cash at one point, if, she actually hits her next rank. I didn't even wait for the month to end before I pulled myself out of the Facebook group. I was done. She didn't hit her goal, in case you were wondering. She still hasn't, actually. That was 5 months ago. I heard she also lost a lot of people from her group after doing such a huge push. I suppose it was enough to push a lot of people over the edge. I received a couple of text messages and emails over the next couple of months saying that if I made a purchase, I would get something and that my support means the world to them. But after quite literally falling off the face of their planet, I never heard anything from them about me as a human. You would think that after 8 months of being a consistent business builder and rock star, that one might wonder where I've been. I suppose the $2,000 a month my downline was pulling in was all that mattered. I spent the next few months feeling really disgusted with my actions. I felt incredibly stupid for believing that this was all some saving grace for my life and that I had finally found my people. I felt used and honestly really hurt. I lost relationships in my real life by taking on this business so hard, but I was doing amazing. I was a fast builder and was really good at creating engaging classes. I felt like I had been contributing to the betterment of people. All I wanted to do was encourage people to live their best lives, and I thought by joining this community that I had. I'm sorry, you guys. Realizing how wrong I was and how many people I had tried to convince to come with me was heartbreaking. I'm still pretty angry about it, obviously. After a few months, no new purchases, blocking a few choice boss babes, and doing some research, I realized just how disgusting this whole endeavor turned out to be. Turns out all of those red flags I ignored were much bigger than I had anticipated. I will never recommend Young Living as a company ever again. I believe essential oils can be used to support a healthy lifestyle, at the very least make the air smell good, but I will never spend another cent on Young Living products. I'll leave it up to you to do your own research, but here are a few starting points. Gary Young was a effing dirtbag, and people in this company worship him in a way that is creepy. Young Living doesn't do third-party testing for their oils and refuses to make their internal reports public while claiming that they are all natural. Interesting that their products aren't listed on the Think Dirty app they push so much. Therapeutic grade is a marketing term made up by Young Living to make you believe that they have the best product around. Their products are not organic. The FDA is watching Young Living like a hawk. There have been a lot of citations on record and a lot of boss babes making claims about medicinal, curative properties of oils. This is going to be bad news bears before long. Oils are not safe for ingestion, and the claim that the FDA approves of ingestion of the Vitality line is false. Brainwashing is a thing. Companies I look forward to trying once my stash of devil oils is out: Sage and Revive essential oils. Both companies release their third-party testing results on their website. Can't argue with facts. I hope at some point the guilt begins to subside and I start to feel less stupid for trying to convince my entire world that they need to build an essential oil empire. This experience has taught me a lot about myself and what I am willing to put up with in my life. Do I wish this never happened? Every effing day. Do I want to throw every little bottle on my wall into a pit of fire? Absolutely. Did I get something out of this whole thing? Sure. 2 things. A hatred for people that use others, and 1 friend. I'll take it. Also, F every boss babe that's used someone's vulnerabilities to sell something and make money. Literally, all of the Fs to women who use other women. Maybe find a way to build people up instead of completely obliterating their souls. But what do I know? So that story was obviously very emotional and at times difficult for me to read. But the reason that I really wanted to bring it to you guys and share it with you is because I think that this is a prime example of the manipulation that takes place in MLMs, as well as the monetary control that's exerted over these people. Speaking about the manipulation, it was just really reprehensible to read how the author of this story was targeted when when she was at such a vulnerable time in her life. And that's nothing new. We know that this is the case. But when you are listening to somebody's experiences, and this person is just an incredible writer, I think she really helped us to see and understand every point very clearly. It was just really heartbreaking. Just being a human and seeking community and seeking a purpose and a way to help others and wanting to care for your family and maintain a household that's healthy for your spouse and for your kids. These are things that we all want, and that's why these MLMs are so good at exploiting those desires. To the upline, you're just a number. You're just dollar signs. They don't look deep enough to see how being a part of MLMs can actually destroy your family, or at least make it very, very difficult for you to thrive. She mentioned that she was spending $300 every month on these essential oils, prioritizing them over things like gas and food and bills. Just the level of manipulation that happens that encourages a person to take those actions and devote so much of their money and time to an MLM that's giving them nothing in return. It's just horrific. But I really do want to commend this person because they sat down and they actually did the math and they calculated how much money they spent on the products and how much money that they have gotten from being a part of the company. And it was then that, heartbreakingly, they discovered that this was all a sham and that this was all a lie. So I don't know if anybody ever comes to these anti-MLM videos who are actually still in an MLM, but if you are, just take a look at those numbers. Look at how much you've put into the company and look at what you've really gotten from it. It's okay to walk away. It's never too late. Please let me know all of your thoughts below in the comment section. I would really love to hear from you guys about what you think. Let's go for some final thoughts. Well, friends, if you are still here, thank you so much for hanging out until the end of the video. You're the MVP. You're super cool in my book. I know that these stories were hard to hear and really sad, but there's always hope in opening someone's eyes who may be currently blinded or manipulated by an MLM. And we have to continue looking out for our friends and our loved ones and do what we can to help them leave their MLM. Also, I just want to give a shout out to my mom because I know that my mom frequently comes and watches my videos on YouTube. So Mom, if you're here, hi, I love you, I miss you, and I hope to see you soon. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and end this video right here. Remember to stay hydrated, wear sunblock, and please go give someone a hug and tell them you love them. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye.